Unity running downtown, we gather around where the beats are hot and the vibes we sound abroad of Africa to the world's embrace. We're building a community, a sacred space. Reaches top zone, where the youth convene, sharing stories, chasing dreams, living the scene on Spotify, Afropods, Google and Apple too. We're spreading wisdom, empowering you.
Hey, good evening to you. How are you doing? Welcome to another episode of Richie's Talk Zone. Richie's Talk Zone, as you know, is a youth-centric podcast where we delve into various issues that pertain youth. And I'm very grateful to you for always joining in every time, listening to the great content I'm putting out there and learning so much from this particular podcast. I'm very, very grateful. Today, we're going to be jumping into another exciting topic that I believe you're going to learn a lot. And joining me for this episode, I have two wonderful guests that are going to give us some insights. They are going to give us some different dimensions. They are going to break this episode little bit for us to be able to consume and have a proper understanding of today's topic. Today's topic, which is youth empowerment and their path to success. The power of the youth. We always say youths have that power. Youths are the one that hold the future. So today we're going to be talking deep into this particular topic. So I have here with me two guests, one from Ghana and one from Nigeria. So I'm going to start the introduction with my first guest, in the person of Nana Awusi, all the way from Ghana, Accra, Ghana to be precise. Nana, welcome to this episode. Welcome to Richie's Talk Zone.
Yeah, thank you, Richie, for having me on the show tonight. I am really thrilled to join you.
Who is Nana? Who is Nana Awusi? Who will you say Nana Awusi is? So our listeners have a little bit of breakdown or have a background knowledge about who Nana Awusi is. So who is Nana Awusi?
All right. So Nana Awusi is simply a conscientious guy, a quality control and quality assurance professional who deals with making sure things are done appropriately and then to standards. And then I also love to impart knowledge and coach people. I am down to earth and a continuous learner. So simply, that is who I am. I love to talk, I love to teach, and I love to groom people.
Wonderful. You said you love to talk, you love to teach, and you love to groom people. That is one particular trait that I love having. I love seeing in everybody that I'm associated with, because we are kind of light. We are the light. You are the light bearers. We need to shine bright and impact each and every one of the people that we find ourselves affiliated with. So that's very, very great. Listeners, we have Nana Awusi here, and he's ready to give us deep insights. He's ready to impact you positively. He's ready to divulge whatsoever is inside him that he feels is going to make you a better individual, which is the main essence of this particular podcast, Richie's Talk Zone. So my second guest is in the person of Olumide Bamgbose. Currently, Olumide is in transit. He's on transit, so he might not necessarily pitch in right at this moment. But as we progress on this episode, as we start our discussions, he's going to chip in one or two things. So yes, let's jump into this episode proper. So, like as I shared with you guys, we're going to be talking about the power that the youth have and their path to success. We've always been hearing that saying of, the youth. There's a saying that says, we are the leaders of tomorrow. Yeah, we are the leaders of tomorrow. Now we say the youths are the one that hold the future. So I would like, Nana, can I actually categorically say in this current dispensation that the youths actually hold the future? Do we actually hold the future?
Yes, the youth hold the future. The youth hold the future.
Why do you say so?
All right, so I believe that today's youth are more aware of their power due to access to information and global connectivity. For example, I am here and you are there. We are communicating and we are trying to enlighten our people as to what they have and the kind of contribution they can also put across to augment the lifestyle or whatever economy or whatever status that we want to achieve. But however, awareness doesn't always translate into action. And as to put it or to add, systematic barriers often hinder our ability to fully utilize our potential. So yes, we have we have the power to tackle that.
Wonderful. So from what you just said, I personally also feel the youths have that power. We actually hold the future, but I feel there's the percentage of youth. There's one thing to know you hold the future, and there's another thing just to be in that category of being a youth. Yes, we know technological advancements based on information we are having, so many information out there that we are privy to. Yes, we would say a youth, you're supposed to actually be a kind of a catalyst that helps the future and making the future what we want it to be. But we have very few people. I'll put myself and you and Olumide that is on this particular podcast as part of the few youths that actually want a better future, that are actually using what we have to impact positively in the future.
Right.
There are so many people, there are so many youths out there that you agree with me are wasting away.
Yes.
They don't actually know the power they possess.
Right.
They don't actually know the power they possess. One, they might not know the power they possess, and two, they might not know how to bring about or how to harness that power they have within them. So what can you say about these two breakdown in the youths? These are the two categories of youth we have. We have one, the people that, let me make it three. We have one, people that know that, yeah, they have the power and they're actually actively causing a change in this current dispensation. Then we have people that don't even have a clue that they have that power. Then we have the third category who know that they have the power, but they don't know how to harness that power. So what can you say about this?
Okay, so this is what I will say. In order to, it is good with the three categories. At least one of them or one of these categories know what to do and they are doing it. So the next in line of action is for those who know what they can do and what they are doing is to bring the last two on board. All right. So the first have to bring the second one, coach, mentor, enlighten, and then draw them to themselves. All right. And then the last people to the first two, or the first has coached and mentored those who don't know. All right. So these two must also bring the third person or what on board. All right. And together we can move forward. It will interest you to know that when youth teach themselves, those that don't know get to know and understand better than somebody outside our circle. All right. So for example, you, for instance, you are now a guru in podcasting and in tech and all that. So for somebody who is not podcast savvy or somebody who is not internet savvy or all that, you can coach and mentor the person to become more like you. And then the person who knows and don't know how to handle it or go about it too can also benefit from you that knows. All right. So
yeah,
we move over this, we are going to succeed. We will succeed if the youth themselves coach and mentor one another, and then we head towards an agreeable goal. Then I think we will succeed at that.
That's a nice point though. But I'm trying to look at it from this angle as well, because
Great.
yeah, it's good to mentor. It's good to at least bring your fellow youths on board, which is what most of us are trying to, in our little way, we are trying to create that awareness. Now, I want to just ask, where did what went amiss? What went wrong? Because we know, yeah, we have different upbringings, we have different, but we still categorize ourselves in a uniformity as we are youth based on that age bracket. So what would you say went wrong for the other two sets, the other two categories, that there was something missing? That what made them distinct from the first category of youths that actually know that they have that power and are actively trying to cause a change? Because we are all youths, yeah.
Yes.
We all have this information at our disposal.
Yes.
You get me? We all have this. You have the information at our disposal. So what went amiss that made, okay, these people have an upper hand over the other two sets? Because if we talk about mentorship, yeah, let's mentor. It's not all about mentorship. It doesn't come like, will I say, it's not in descending order. It's in ascending order. Those two categories need to take the step that, oh, I want to actually know about this. A mentor doesn't come to you and just say, hey, I want to mentor you. No, you need to take a step and say, oh, I want to learn more about this thing. So please, can you mentor me? So I want to know, is it from our upbringing? Is it from our cultural differences that gap came for someone to say, I don't even know as a youth I have power? Then now you know you have power, then eventually you don't even know how to harness that power. That part of not knowing how to harness that power is where I feel your point comes in. That's the mentorship. Somebody's going to take you by the hands and teach you that, oh, this is how you're going to be doing it. But how about that person that does not have any clue at all?
All right. So yes. So those that do not have any clue at all is actually stemming from the point you mentioned, the cultural upbringing and an environment we find ourselves in. All right. On and off this app, a typical African child, somebody from maybe abroad, maybe US, when you put two together in team and ask the two people to narrate what really happened, the person from US would rather do better than the person from Africa. Why? Because our culture has put us in a certain that we are not able to speak up for ourselves, able to, experiment and know, always cautious. We are always laid, and we are just allowed to take decisions on our own. All right, we take decisions and whatever outcomes you face it or the consequences you bear it. But at the other side, they are allowed to, explore. Okay, and in the exploration, they learn, and when they learn, they apply. And when they apply, they succeed or they lose. All right. Over here, for example, when your mom will expect you to, put your hands at your back and do not look into her eyes. All right. And that sense of timidity has entered us, and we are scared to take a decision and live by it. Okay. So if you ask me, I would say that culture is also part. Our culture doesn't, help us or make us be hunters enough. Our culture is not allowing us to, explore. Okay, they are not allowing us to talk or speak. They want us to keep quiet and hide behind adults. Okay, so when an adult is playing buffoonery, we will still have to, respect the adults, listen to whatever the adults is saying, and keep quiet. Don't talk. So I think our culture plays a role, and also education. Our educational system is also helping us. Our educational system is always take. Our educational system is not practical enough to allow us to, practicalize things and all that. Yes. So these two major things are the being of these categories we've mentioned so far.
But yeah, so very valid, because Personally, hi Richard. I like to be curious. I like to dig deep, and I like to kind of place reasonable arguments anytime I find myself in the midst of my peers. So this particular thing you said, I know my listeners will be listening. I'll be like, you talk about educational system. You talk about our cultural upbringing. Yeah, we have people that we all had that maybe similar cultural upbringing. We had similar education, but I'm different from the next. What makes me become different, and what made you remain the same? That's the question that might be popping into somebody's head as the person is listening to me now. Because you see, you have valid points that cultural upbringing, education, blah blah blah. We have so many people that enter the same university, but they come out in different forms. So I don't know. What I want to know personally, which is why I've been thinking deep about this particular topic. I've been thinking deep. I've been researching very, very deep about this particular topic, because youths, we are not. To me, I feel we are not trying our best. Other people might have a different opinion that we are trying our best. We are not actually trying our best. We are not trying our best, and it's really becoming something else, because we keep on complaining in different areas. Even when it comes to politics, we keep on complaining that you don't want to give the youth a chance to be able to shine and whatnot. What are the youth doing differently that will make them create an impact? Because you need to prove that you can be able to do something for somebody to lay for that.
Richie, prove what? What at all can the youth prove? That it can.
You need to prove that yes, you are knowledgeable. You need to prove that yes, you are capable. You can be able to do these things that you feel those people that are above that youth bracket are doing, that maybe they are doing it in the wrong way.
You think the youth are not trying enough?
Personally, I feel the youth are trying enough.
No, that's not the case.
How about you?
The youth are doing more than they're supposed to do to get recognized. For example, go to Kenya and see the youth. Is it not recently that the youth, rose to the occasion and abolished that tax that President Ruto imposed on them?
That is another angle. They are not doing
great.
But
what I'm saying is, they're doing more than they're supposed to do in order for them to get a chance. The adults or our grown folks are just not giving us the chance to operate. They're just giving us the chance to operate. For example, in my country, Ghana, there is an MP who is also a minister. He is called Honorable K.T. Hammond. He personally, and for the lack of better words, let me paraphrase. He said that the youth have no sense in their head to operate, so they will not allow the officers for us to operate.
What prompted that comment? What prompted that comment?
Well, if you ask me, I would say that it's sheer greediness. Because officers are yes, greed. They won't allow other people to rule, or they won't allow other people to take office, to show them other ways. And also, I feel that the youth will have to do them. That's what I feel, or that's what I think, that the youth will outdo them. And again, they are using the offices or the opportunities to enrich themselves. If they are out of office, they cannot get opportunity to enrich themselves again, because the youth are there and the youth will do something better, and they will not be getting the connection they're supposed to be. All right. For example, in your country, Nigeria, they are not able to solve the Doomsday problem. Doomsday in Ghana here means power outages and all that. In your country, they are not able to solve the power outages. They're not willing to solve. Why? Because it's going to take away money from their coffers. And the big men, the parliamentarians, the officers are making a lot of money from the power outage. Why? Because one big man is importing generator. Another person is importing generator parts. Another person is importing cables and all that. So if they allow the youth to work, or they give the youth opportunity to work, they are going to take all those sources from them. And mind you, the youth, it's not as if the youth don't know what is going on. The youth knows what is going on, and they can do better. They are just not getting the opportunity or the platform to operate.
Okay, no. let's hold that thought. Let me know whether Bros Olumide is ready to talk to us. You see, Olumide, are you ready for us? Are you ready to join in the conversation? You can always indicate when you're ready, so we can hear from you as well, because the topic is the discussion is getting deeper. We are getting to deeper waters now in this conversation. So Nana, yeah,
right. Quick one before you come here. I was holding a thought that you said that. Hold on, let me
okay.
That before you go. See, in my country, Ghana, right here, right, the constitution does not allow a youth, or the constitution does not allow people to be president until you are about 65 or 60 years. Mm-hmm. Why can't the president be a youth or a person of 80 years or 37 years? Why shouldn't?
But the question I have as well is that, are you only going to be able to create impact when you are in the office of presidency?
Well, that's a question. You can. Yes. No, not per se.
Is it only when you are in that presidency position that you can create an impact as a youth?
Well, I know where you are coming from. And you will say that you can make impact from your surroundings, all right? But there are some impacts in your surroundings that you can make, which should come from the top. So if you don't get access, or if you don't get the help from the top, your immediate surroundings, you cannot do anything.
Now,
any impact.
Now,
for example,
what? Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, for example, if there are school dropouts in your community, all right, and you are exposed or you educated and you want to, educate them and talk to them and bring them closer to, development and all that, you will need support. Of course, you don't have the money to do it. Okay, mm-hmm. So you need support from the above. If the above is not helping you, how can you help those around you? And that's also an impact. Okay, and then also this podcast that you are doing, you are using data. Is that what? I am also using data to connect with you. If the government do not sit down with the telcos, review the charges of the internet payment and all that, what we are going to waste? We are going to use a lot of money put into this podcasting that we are doing. Meanwhile, this podcasting that you are doing is also an impact you are creating. So you see where I'm coming from. So if they don't help it at the top, the down we are going to suffer. And that's why it looks like we are not making any positive impact whilst we are down. We are, but sometimes it comes from the top.
I had something to say just about now. It just skipped my mind. Okay, yeah, I've gotten it now. So I'm saying now we're talking about they're not giving us the opportunity and the politics or leadership. They're not giving us the opportunity. Now, what is even the assurance that when you place a youth there, because this particular thing I'm about to say has been a topic of discussions and arguments so many times, countless times between I and some of my friends, that what is even the assurance that when a youth is placed in that position of power, that person is going to actually do something reasonable? That is the big question. I'm not even siding what's the name, these greedy leaders or whatever, but my own is cards on the table. Okay. What do you have to offer? It might not even be necessarily politics. We have youth that are thriving. Now, our power now lies in technology. Our power lies in social media and the rest. We have youth that have so much following. You amass so much following. We have influencers. People are looking at you. Even the so-called elderly people are also, you're also influencing them one way or the other. But when we take a critical look at it, the influence that we are getting from our youth these days are influences that does not yield any positive results.
Well, you can't be sure.
I'm not generalizing it here. I'm just saying, I'm seeing, especially in the entertainment industry, there's a whole lot of things going on in the entertainment industry that I feel you having that power as an influencer, like a figure, a public figure. Honestly, there are even some people, there are some celebrities that in a way, they even have power more than some presidents. When they find themselves in some countries, the regard they give them is even more than when maybe a president stepped there. But they are not actually using it in any way. You see youth, celebrities, all they know is to be smoking, displaying all this kind of lavish life and all those kind of things. Then what then? Like as we said earlier, that the first category, you are going to help those other two categories. Is it by doing all those things that you are going to help those other two categories level up?
No, some way yes. No, some way yes. Some way yes. Probably they might not know the impact they might have on the people or on their audience. It takes one to educate one. All right. If that person doesn't know, you know, you can reach out to the person and then talk to the person. You can reach a mutual agreement.
Let's make it very factual here. I know, this is a discussion, and this is a discussion, and we might be just saying things from the top of our heads, but let's always make it like factual. Like you're talking about you reaching out to somebody, you that you know, and all those things. Is it the accessibility? Is it actually there that I can easily reach out to you and tell you that blah blah blah, what you're doing is not good? And even people have, like as you said, people have made that attempt to even reach out to them to let you know that, oh, what you are doing, you're a public figure, you're supposed to do things that will make that people will see you and do positive things and the rest. Before you know it, it turns to a whole different thing. Before you know it turns to all these beefs and all the rest. Like our dispensation now, the youth, we are always using everything to catch crews. We are catching crews. Everything is like enyeshi, bibienia enyeshi, like agronkwa the edi, agronkwa. Like to be honest, agronkwa. Like we are always playing. We are always we are always realizing things. Honestly, we are always realizing things.
I'm not sure that's the reality, Richie. I'm not sure that's the reality. See,
well, that's my take. Because I've said I've researched, I've talked about this particular thing. I've spoken to different people. I've gotten different ideas, different notions from different people, and everything. There's still a question mark there. But I don't know. Maybe in this particular session, you are the one that is going to make us have a better understanding. Because honestly, I don't know.
I will try, Richie, in the sense that look at this particular skit maker. There's I don't know. He plays a role of a sugar daddy oftentimes in his skits. I forgot.
Is it Mr. Macaroni? Mr. Macaroni.
Mr. Macaroni. Yes, Mr. Macaroni have short series or episodes of the skit that tends to educate the people on voting, on speaking up, and all that. That's a great impact. Okay.
Yeah.
And there's this other skit maker too. I don't know his name, so you can help me out. He is fair and have this afro hair. He normally gives advice.
He's fair and has afro.
Yes, fair and have afro. Okay.
What does that content always talk about?
Oh, he normally preaches. He normally preaches or takes a topic. For example, a very dark man and that particular lady. A very dark man had an issue with a particular lady in the industry too. That they went back and forth and all that. He normally picks a trending topic, gives perspectives, and then at the end they give advice and all that. He's very good. I've been following him too. All right, and then the other skit makers too who are impacting a lot, who are using their platform to teach people. Okay, so here what I would say is when we have about 2 or 3 more people of such caliber churning out such content, I believe a lot of people will also see and also join the bandwagon. And also, it also depends on us, the youth, and the kind of things that we embrace. If the majority,
that's where I want to hear from that point. That is where that's the main place with that one. That the cocoa with that.
Yeah, even true. It's true. You see, that's what I believe, that we can change the narrative by supporting those who churn out good content. For example, you see, I always use your country, Nigeria, as a source oftentimes because that's where the materials are. I don't intend to remind your folks of the sad incident that happened when Mohbad passed away. What did you do? The youth came together. You cancel Naira Marley, didn't you?
Yeah,
that's what I'm talking about. So it takes one person to commune the entire nation, or it takes one person or a little group of people to bring people together to create a positive impact. So we just need one leader. We just need one person. So that Osaje Dr. Kwame Nkrumah did in Ghana here. He said independence now, and those who wanted to join, and Ghana had independence. So if the youth want to say that, okay, today we want to emancipate ourselves now, we want the constitution's change, we want this done, the youth will get people to come together to champion that particular cause. See, talents are built in the youth. There are a lot of talent running around.
That's valid. Yeah, that's valid.
But we just need one person to encourage us or to create a chance for us all to come in. And we must find ourselves supporting each other to do it.
But I have something to say as well. You know, we're talking about youth. We're talking about youth now. Youth came in different generations. We have different generation of youth. Those leaders that you are talking about, they were once youths. They were once youths. Like, this is our current generation of youths. We had a previous generation and we had a generation before that as well.
Right.
So, this is the same thing we are talking about. That is the ripple effect that it keeps on having. You spoke about the youth actually knowing what they want to feed themselves with. That is the main thing. Because those people, the people that are currently existing that have passed that youthful age, that are not doing the right thing, that we feel, these people are not doing the right thing. As youth, we want to get to that place. Let us fix things. Let us do that. They were also youths like us. And they didn't feed themselves with the right things that they were supposed to feed themselves with, either based on normal happenings or just based on selfish reasons. So which is what I am pushing for now, that the youths, both the ones that know they have the power, the ones that don't know that they have the power, we are just going in circles. There is nothing actually coming out from it. Everything that we are doing based on the power that you know you possess is for your own, like, will I say, self-gratuity or what? Because if you are successful by yourself and your immediate family. It doesn't go to all youths in a particular nation. We have youths that are doing exploits in tech. You have youths that are doing exploits in agro. It's to them. They think outside the box to help emancipate themselves, to make them better youths. But the bigger picture of actually impacting every other person around them is not being done. Or will I say it can't be done? Is it safe to say it can't be done?
I'm not sure.
Because I was listening to what's the name? This particular, I don't know if you've heard of Dr. Stephen Akintayo. I seem to relate it. Yeah, I don't know. Bro, Olumide, are you here? Are you ready for us? Because I want us to have a mixture. That's why I wanted us to have the mixture of Ghana and Nigeria, so we can have like an idea from different parts of the world, like different parts of the nation. Are you with me, bros? So, like as I was saying, Nana, you heard me right? You heard what I said?
Yes.
So, I don't know,
Richie, we are not going in circles. We are making progress.
How?
Okay. We are making
Make
progress.
me know that. How will you? I want to understand.
If not for anything, the youth of Kenya gave us the hope. The youth of Nigeria.
Jai, don't go there. Don't see. That's one thing about our youths. Is when worse come to worse, or we only see youth when it comes to violence. That is when we see youth. That is the case because they have been in that particular nation. They've been saying they've been in that nation and they've been seeing all the things, all the happenings that the president was doing and the other leaders embezzling funds and whatnot. What stopped them? Why now? What caused? Why now? Why did they? Why was there?
The youth lack power.
You lacked what?
We don't have power. Power. We don't have power.
So where did the power come from?
If the president embezzles money, what do you expect the youth to do? Or myself, if my president embezzles funds meant for projects, what can I do as a youth?
What are they now doing? What did they now do? They started going to do what was the name? Protest and whatnot.
Yes.
Why was it now? Why is it now that they were doing it? Sometimes we need to also think about these things, because politics is a very tricky thing. There's always an agenda behind some certain things there. We have leaders, you have people in politics such as those particularly president or all those people that they are talking about that we want to do a protest about it, blah, 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 blah. They have those set of people that are even fueling these youths. Our youths are always being used as guinea pigs, used for tests. They'll go and pay them money. In Nigeria, let me talk about it from Nigeria's point of view. We have youths are seeing the rubbish, they are seeing the useless things that the leaders are doing. They will not say anything because those particular leaders or those politicians are giving them small tips, giving them money, giving them this, giving them that. When it now comes to what suits the politician, he will now say, oh yeah, youth, take this thing. You mobilize them. Oh yeah, go and cause mayhem. Go and do this, go and do that. That is the only time we see youth standing up. The only time I saw youth standing up for themselves was when we were greatly attacked. That was the NSAS period. That people, the police and the SARS members of the SARS unit were harassing young guys and young ladies because they felt they were living a life that they are not supposed to live. They are living a flamboyant life that you this small boy or you this small girl, you are driving this kind of car, you are driving that kind of ride. They were trying to stereotype us because of what we were able to put on the table. We were greatly affected. We were directly affected. That is why there was an uproar. But now, when there is no direct direct cause or direct threat to our existence, the youth are literally dormant. They are just dormant. They say nothing. They say nothing. We are making instances of Kenya and the rest. Go ahead, bro.
Yeah, so the question is, if the youth are dormant, what is making them dormant?
What's making them dormant is because, like as I said, it is not actually directly affecting them.
That's not true.
If there's fire burning you, nobody will tell you what to do. You will know that you have to leave that place so that the fire does not burn you and give you serious.
What can a youth do?
What can they do?
Yes.
What can they see? That's what we're talking about. Strategic placement of youth in different sectors in a country. You might not necessarily be in that leadership position or be the head. But when we have youths that infiltrate all these points, we have youths that are supposed to be there when in parliament, that when they are making all these decisions, they are there as well and they can be able to say something. But what we've discovered is that the youth are only focused on luxury things, what they're going to eat, flashy lifestyle and the rest. That is the main focus that is in most of the youth. I'm not saying everybody. That is what's in most of their head.
So, Rich,
hello.
I understand you for
yeah, we can hear you, bro.
Where you are coming from. Okay, I understand from the point that you are coming from. But what is their population in the parliament there? See, what I have to say, okay, my justification of all this is that it is not that the youth are not trying, or the youth are not willing to do anything, or the youth are not willing to get up and take reference and decisions. make changes. The youth are doing their best. I know a lot of youth who started businesses, but lack of opportunities, lack of funds, the businesses collapsed. Richie, you and I, our very good friend Alibaba started his own business. Okay, Alibaba had about 3 businesses that he was running. And believe you me, the guy suffered a lot to run the business. At the end of the day, he has to leave the business and travel. And I know other people too, other youth who are also trying. They have ventured into fish farming, agriculture and all that. They are suffering there. It's not as if they are not trying anything or they are not trying to make impact. Alibaba had a business, he employed people to work for him. That's an impact. The guy who's into agriculture too employed people to work for him. That's also an impact. But if Alibaba lacks support, which that support should come or will come from the top, Alibaba is nobody. That guy is nobody. At the end of the day, we are back to square one. That's why I'm saying that if those ahead of us do not hold our hands, guide us, take us there, create opportunities for us, give us the platform to operate, under no circumstance can the youth rise up to the occasion and make bigger impacts. That's what I'm saying. So at the end of the day, what I'm saying is what the youth need is mentorship. Mentor is crucial. It provides guidance. It opens doors. It builds confidence in the youth. Okay?
Yeah.
My own mentor taught me the value of perseverance and strategic thinking, quantitative thinking when it comes to work. And now, when my mentor, who is my boss, when my boss goes on leave, I take charge and I run the place. Okay, till he comes back. Why? Because she mentored me. She gave me the platform to operate. When I do a thing wrong, she calls me, she corrects me, and she asks me to go back again. Now, things that she's supposed to be doing, she leaves them for me to do. That is mentorship. If we don't mentor, if we don't invest in the youth, there's no way we can achieve what we want to achieve. As youth, so you know A, your fellow does not know A. You teach your fellow A. Somebody also knows B. He teaches another person who knows B. As long as they are interested to be transformed or to be mentored. And believe you me, there are a lot of the youth out there who want to be mentored. Just that they lack the right information or they don't have the information. Or they lack, for instance, the mentor, the people they can go to, or they don't know the people they can go to for such help and all that. The youth are burning with talent. They are burning with ideas that all they need is what is shaping and direction. That's all. And opportunities for them to explore. And there's one person who is doing very, very well, and that's this Ghanaian who brought ALX. I believe you have heard of ALX. Impacting a lot of African youth. And I'm a beneficiary. I won't lie to you. I recently graduated from one of their programs. It's called the Professional Foundation, C5.
That's nice.
It's a practical program that they are running for free. You are not paying shishi for it. And that's an impact a youth is making on the continent. Okay? So people lack information, or the youth lack information as to where to go for proper work, proper opportunities and all that. And that's all we need. Exposure, education, mentorship.
Okay, Nana, thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Your points are really, really valid. Let's hear from Bros Olumide, and let's get his own point of view with all the discussions that we've made here. Bros Olumide, are you there with us?
Yes, Richie, I apologize for not being able to join earlier on. I've been listening to conversation so far. I've definitely missed some moments, for I've been paying attention along the way.
Okay, great. So what can you, well, from what we've said so far, what would you also contribute to what we've been saying? Because we've actually said a lot, and I believe you heard us well.
Yes, you have. So first of all, again, I apologize. My greetings to your listeners and Nana Micha Wominya. All right. So you have talked, we're speaking about youth, and you've talked about both causes and solutions. On the issue of youths not using their influence. Let me jump in from there. I think, sorry to say, that also goes with part of the problems we have. You've also referenced education. It's part of the problems we have. We have issues as well. I'm speaking from Nigeria. I've lived in Ghana, I've lived in Nigeria, but I'm speaking mostly for Nigeria now. We have issues with scaling information and analyzing data. Richie, you have been speaking on the perspective of people with large followings not using their influence to move our nations forward as youth. But
Yes.
you are using the sphere of social media influence. Social media, by default, is dominated by youth.
Exactly.
So the influential people of older age are not there dragging with us for likes and trends and all that. It is we youth ourselves, and we have what is marketable to us that people are keen into. So outside the sphere of social media of influencers that we've mentioned, like Nana rightly mentioned, you have people like Mr. Macaroni, who even in his comedy has keyed into some very important things to educate youth. And he has, in his own personal capacity, in his own personal life, has suffered for his advocacy.
Yeah.
Because he has always been vocal in issues of governance in Nigeria. And whatever he's doing in his comedy itself, he's not doing as much as he's doing as a personal person with his own name and what he's suffering for it. So the point I'm trying to make is that social media is one thing. There are youths making impact all over. If you go to the big financial firms, if you go to banks, there are youth in doing amazing things in all those places. So we shouldn't limit and look at the influence within only social media. But the problem, it cause, like what you're asking, why is it that youth cannot do better? Why is it that we are not making changes? The societies we have are mostly patriarchal and gerontocratic. How do I say that? Gerocentric. That there's somebody at the top who is the oldest or is old, and he gives the law, and you are not allowed to speak. Yeah, so you are not allowed to speak up. No matter what the person is doing, you cannot say your father is doing the wrong thing. You have to accept it. That is our society. Most of our cultures operate in that way. So the elders we have, like Richie also pointed out, they were youth once. In Nigeria, they enjoyed Nigeria.
Mm-hmm.
They enjoyed free education. They enjoyed jobs waiting for them when they graduated, those that graduated. They enjoyed entering civil service and having houses and cars within the first few years as new entrants. So when they were youths, they enjoyed our nation, even though they were also complaining about something then. But the reality is they were able to enjoy Nigeria as it was. As they grew older, they are not ready to live some things that they've enjoyed that they need to work harder to benefit from. Instead, they have chosen the lazy path of siphoning money. And the youth have been trained in that way. Some of it systematic. From the 80s, where we had military rule, there was a deliberate influence of breaking down the civil service and making our culture so money conscious. It was a deliberate thing. So when we talk about problems in Africa and we say the people are not good people, we are too greedy, it is true, but it is a symptom of part of our problems. We are not having these problems at the top because everybody is bad and some bad people grow to the top. It's the people that have gotten to the top that have made sure the system has stayed so rotten that the youth who are coming up have no, quote and unquote, have no choice but to play along to fit in. Linking that to the points of mentorship. Mentorship now, what we have for people that can actually make change beyond, like how Nana mentioned in his own private enterprise, where his boss gives him responsibilities and allows him to act. When you talk about the scale, when you can actually make change, for you to be a governor, for you to be a senator, if you are 40 years old, you are young. in our own dispensation.
Exactly.
And in Nigeria, we had a sad case of the youngest governor in the past 8 years or 9 years being the person now that is wanted for billions of fraud. From when he entered, or whatever technical terms they've used to charge him. When he entered office, he was not even supposed to be there. It was an act of God. But within a few years, he got the title of one of the worst, if not the worst performing governor in Nigeria, and he wore it proudly. I've said this thing severally. Say the next election, when he was running again, we had the party chairman of his party in the person of Adams Oshimole, and another governor, a serving governor, a very influential governor, on parade ground, kneeling down and begging on his behalf. So we know our son, your son has messed up, but we are pleading with you to give him another chance. Yeah. And of course, they still manipulated things as is done in African politics for him to win. Even that, after the senior people in his party pleaded and knelt down and did all that for him, there was no change. So in Nigeria, now when you say young people, unfortunately, is the example that people point to say even the youngest governor Seth did not do good. But it's because the system has been corrupted so much that is, like Richie said, we are thinking of money, and spending our things on things that don't matter. But outside entertainment, outside social media, there are many people you can look to. Unfortunately, the mentors will not boost you that much, and the mentors will not boost you to a level to become a senator or to become a governor. Those youths that are in those positions that can be raised up, or that are being raised up, let me say that are being raised up, are the ones that have learnt the worst of the system, that know how to play the nonsense politics. Those are the ones that get the mentorship.
That's what I'm saying.
Continue what the elders have done already.
You're making it worse. You've seen the light, and you are rather bringing people backwards.
Because they've seen the systems that we run, and they're like, there's no point. Some of us are idealistic and we believe and we want it to be better, but it has been proven with Nigeria's recent elections, both at state and federal level, that the game of politics has been turned into a game fully. So the youth who are there, you that we are shouting for change, you want to break the system and make it egalitarian for everybody, you are not going to nobody is going to push you to the top. But you that knows how to play dirty politics, and then you now bring in your youthful knowledge of how to use social media and social engineering to help your candidate that has been in power for 20-something years. You are the one that will rise to the top.
Yeah.
The youth in the ruling party now in Nigeria, they will defend, and you marvel at the intelligence people use to defend the suffering and waste that is going on in the nation.
Those
are the people that will be mentored. You that has ideas to break the chain, who is going to mentor you? Because all the people who are ahead of you in the game of politics, in the policy making positions, are the people that are deliberately doing things to damage the nation. So they won't mentor somebody that is going to come and spoil what they have. So like Nana said, how many opportunities are actually there for the youth? You fight. When you get there, it's a matter of you either join them or you are pushed out. But in all that...
So Bros Olumide, so where is actually the power that we are talking about now? With all these things that we've said, where is the power that the so-called power we say the youth possess? Where is it?
Like I said, unfortunately, recent political elections and activities in Nigeria have shown that we have a very long way to go. Education has to come. Okay, that will favor what you have said. The mediums that we have to educate ourselves. There's somebody that is popular now in Nigeria, Dan Bello, that posts videos in Hausa language that hits either in a sarcastic manner or even documentary manner that hits at critical issues that are affecting people in Nigeria at large, and especially in the north. Now, anybody that is interested in Nigeria's politics and future and history knows that the north has a critical role to play. That unfortunately, education and religious sentiment has held behind.
Yeah.
So that's somebody that is using his own position. He has no official post. He's a Nigerian living and working in China. And he has taken that upon himself. And I'm very happy to see how much he has grown within the past few months. If he drops a video within 1 hour, it has gotten like 2,000 retweets. I don't know how far it is going in the streets for the people that need to hear it in their own local language, but at least he has gained that traction. So that is somebody that is using his own influence to change things. We will need to educate people. It's a long-term thing. Elections were held yesterday in Edo State in Nigeria. And again, the people are marveled at the results that have come out from there. People that are crying every day that they are suffering and this and that and that and that have put their thumb in a certain direction. So until citizens understand the social contracts, what they deserve as people, because we don't know what we deserve. There's a quote I have shared repeatedly that the people do not come together for an uprising just because they have to come up. It is until they have a means of comparison for them to understand that this is what I'm missing out on.
Exactly.
And they can compare to where they are. But unfortunately, the hostile mentality, that's why I said it was also a deliberate thing. The hostile mentality that has been forced upon us makes us think of only ourselves, how to make money for ourselves and move on. We don't see socially that this is what we should be getting from government.
Yes. We don't see it as, we don't demand it from them no more.
Yeah, Nigerians know that, roads no good. Now people go use block film. Lights no day. We don't buy generator. Generator don't too cost. Fuel don't too cost. We have gone to solar. Those that can't afford solar are stuck where they are. There's a generator that is called I better pass my neighbor generator.
Yeah, Tiger generator.
Tiger generator. I keep telling people here in Nigeria that when I was in Ghana, Ghanaians had no business with generators.
You don't
the only people that had generators were people that used to do funeral and party for float. Okay, when you hire them to come and play at your place, maybe you don't have wiring that will reach outside, so they have to come with a generator. And then some big companies. But here in Nigeria, even somebody that is on minimum wage is still forced to buy a generator. And now that same generator, that same Tiger, I better pass my neighbor generator, is now more than minimum wage. Is up to maybe 80 to 100,000 now, from 20-something thousand a few years ago. But Nigerians will still keep on hustling so that they can buy that generator. The fact that the power should be coming for them from government and they can pay for it is a foregone thing. It's not their problem again. Water, the average house is using borehole, even in a mega city like Lagos. So all these things that we have taken as normal, I don't know how we will achieve that awareness now. But when people start to understand that there are countries where if you are unable to work, there's social welfare. If there's a pothole in the road and you snap it and you put it up somewhere within your own local community, within a few days, the mayor of the city or the council people are embarrassed and they will force people to go and work there.
Yes.
When we understand all those things, then we can move forward. In Nigeria, there's money flowing around in our budgets. In one ministry is handling a polytechnic, not even ministry, is handling construction of things in some random places in different states from where it is, because it will benefit some of our politicians. The money is going to be released. It's not going to be used for what it was budgeted for. And the institution itself that the budget line was under will also not get money for, like that polytechnic will not get renovations done for itself. But the money is there in the allocation, in the budgetary allocation to do things outside the school.
So they're just using the institution as like a means to launder the money.
Yes, exactly. So all these things are there. It has been pushed to the surface more and more and more and more now. Like, for you to be ignorant of some things that we have been ignorant for long, you have to be making a special effort. So eventually, something will have to give.
So which brings me to this now. So we've established that yes, there's power, but the power might be direct or indirect, and the power is also subject to a higher power, because everything that we've said is tilted towards politics, governance, and the rest. Because we can't function properly if our country itself as a whole is not functioning properly. Nana made an instance of our very good friend Ali Baba that started his own business, a 3 different kind of business, and was actually frustrated by the government, by the country he finds himself in. He's trying to make a way for himself. Not only himself, he's actually creating jobs, which is in a way going to help the will I say the GDP of the country as well, because he's actually solving a problem, which is the unemployment problem. And now the country is actually making it difficult for him. And eventually he finds himself out of the country, which is what brings me to this Jackpot syndrome that is happening currently in Nigeria. People, even not only in Nigeria, in Ghana. Nana, am I lying? People are wanting to leave the country to Canada, to the UK, and because they feel, yes, there's structure there. So Nana made mention of something initially when we started. He was like, the environment we find ourselves, the difference between Africa, the African continent, and the European continent and other Asian continent, like the structure they have there actually helps a long way to show that the youth in that country have a say and have power. That power is not just vague. It's power that actually is being utilized in that. So are we saying that we African youth now, we have a big problem at hand, and we've come to a crossroad? We don't know where to go. We don't know whether to go to the left or go to the right. All we know how to do is survival, because that's the major thing that is in our mind now. I won't lie to you, bro. Everybody is looking for how to survive by themselves individually. But Olumide said it here. That is what the country, or the country we find ourselves, has turned the youth into. Everybody, we have people that are excelling in different areas, but I said it before that it only affects them and their immediate family. It doesn't go around. So everybody is of the notion that, the government, nothing is working. Let me just try my possible best and even sustain myself. Now we have so many companies that are closing down. Companies that are started by youth that are closing down currently because of the harsh
where we find ourselves. So,
like, what is the way forward now? That is the question now. What can you advise? I would like to get advice from both you, both Olumide and Nana. I also give, what advice can you give to somebody that is listening to us now, a youth that is listening to us? What advice can you give to him to actually be able to, at least to an extent, harness that power and maybe just better their own lives in their own little way? What advice can you give them? Because as at this point, I don't know.
Right. So Richie, I have a few things to say. Okay. So first of all, what I would say is the youth that are left in Africa, there is hope. All hope is not lost. We are going to win. And what I'll add is, if anybody gets the opportunity to travel, the person should. Why am I saying this? There are success stories of those who have traveled outside, went to learn a trade, went to learn the systems, and they are back here in Africa imparting the life of people. For example, is Fred Swanika, who is a Ghanaian who lived his life in abroad, and now he's here making him ALX.
Yeah.
Another person who is also from Nigeria, I think also traveled, who is a co-founder of Flutterwave.
Yes.
I believe in what Flutterwave. Also had what? An exposure outside. And now he's making impact with digital payments and all that. And a whole lot of Ghanaians and Nigerians and other African compatriots who traveled outside, went to learn the trade, and they are now back in Africa, making great impacts. So that's what I would say. Do not lose hope. Try opportunities. If the opportunities do not come or do not open here in Africa and it is elsewhere, go. But when you go, have Africa or your homeland in mind, is that you will come and help transform the country, because nobody will do it for us. We have to do it our own way, or we have to do it ourselves. You would notice that those of our friends who we were here with and had the opportunity to travel outside, when they come back, they have influence on our grown-ups over here.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. You realize that as soon as they go in there, out there, they do their masters, they get opportunities to work and all that, when they come back, they are easily fused in politics or decision-making organizations and all that.
Yeah. The listening ear is there for them now.
Yes.
Because
So
of that exposure.
it's easier to penetrate when you go and you come back. So that's my advice I'll give to the youth. If you have it, you have the opportunity to travel, go, master yourself. And when you come, you bring the knowledge, the understanding, and the system here with you.
Thank you very much. Bro Olumide, what do you have to say as well?
Yeah, hello.
Yeah.
For me, because of Nigerian politics and my bit of idealistic nature, I don't have any straightforward advice, because I know the changes that we need will take some time. The damage has been done quite over a number of years to our psyches, to our parents' psyches, to our own as the youth. And to those that are coming under us, the same way their own psyches have been damaged. So the change, what I said before, is citizens have to recognize their worth and the influence, not just the influence, the commitment a government is supposed to have in their life. There's no amount of self-hustle that we can hustle out of the systemic problems that we have. When you're mentioning somebody like the Alibaba that you said, businesses are closing up, it's because of policy issues.
Exactly.
We have dollar billionaires in Nigeria who somehow do not, beyond using their own influence for their own specific business, what we have seen playing out is that they do not care or understand the overall business ecosystem. We can see how Dangote in the past 3-4 months has all of a sudden become someone that is so visible and is so loud because of what is happening to his refinery. And you wonder, say, you've enjoyed government patronage for decades.
Yeah.
Did you not envisage this kind of thing? But because he has always been put to power, it has fallen on his own side. So the strength of contracts and agreements and courts and all that might not have been so important to him.
As at then.
But now, when all of a sudden the government is turning a blind eye to things that are happening to him, he has become a podcaster, quote and unquote.
Yeah,
as the joke was going around, say, Dangote don't become podcaster. And because before now, Nigerians have always said, say, Dangote is a government enabled monopolist and all that. So now imagine a whole Dangote is going from TV station to TV station, doing press conferences up and down, because he has spent billions of dollars. Yeah, and he spent billions of dollars investing in something that the government gave him full backing to the view of the whole world. But now, when it's time to actualize, something has gone wrong. So, and if he didn't do what he has done in the past 2 months, it would have been a very different story for him. Because the technical information is that he was due to start paying back his loans. And he has projected to start selling to a certain level within June, July. And the government was, NNPC, don't let me say the government, NNPC was not allowing him to do that. So if you can imagine a dollar billionaire, Nigeria's biggest and Africa's biggest businessman has to resort to public, back and forth to save himself. What more the youths that are starting their business from what they've saved?
From scratch.
In Lagos, you have local government permits. If you have vehicles on the road, you must have local government permit papers. Separate from that's for commercial vehicles. The papers will tell you that it covers everywhere in Nigeria. It is written in plain English that it covers all local governments in Nigeria. But if you cross to Ogun State people will arrest you and you must buy their own papers. If you cross to Oyo State, they will arrest you and you have to buy their own papers. But the document in your hand reads explicitly that this covers the whole nation. So these are things that are deliberate to kill business. For the states, they're counting it as IGR. They are generating more funds for themselves by introducing their own documents. But these are things that kill business. They are fundamental issues. No amount of hustling on your own. Go see the kind of hustling that will save you now is for you to start knowing different local government chairmen in different locations, in different states. How many people have that access?
Very few.
So there are fundamental issues that will take a very long time to resolve. And so what I can say is people like you and the others that have the platform, that have the voice, should do their best to educate people. But I will say again, not to limit the rating of youth to only social media. Those that have the platforms should use it, but we should also be glad that we have examples like Nana has pointed out, that we have other examples of people that are shining lights. There's a Ghanaian guy, I don't know, I've not read in-depthly about him. He's on Instagram, I've seen him, that is running for president. Yeah, the prince, that portrays himself like African prince in coming back to America.
He's coach that. Nana Kwambe.
Yeah. So I don't know what he was into before he came. I saw him like 2 years ago.
So Nana, what you were saying, like, so to be honest, if you have your way to travel out of the country, will you still come back to the country?
Yes, I will come back to the country.
With all the policies that have been laid already that is affecting existing companies, you will still come back and invest in a company or invest in the country. Are you definitely sure?
Yes, I will, in the sense that, like I illustrated earlier, it is easier for diasporans to penetrate the government and decision-making bodies than an in-person. Okay?
You are saying, so you said government, you're making mention of government.
With me,
coming down. Mention of government. You are making mention of government. Now, I'm saying, not you coming to have anything to do with politics. Coming to just start your business and say, yeah, let's start this business and I'm pumping in money and let's see how it goes. With all these current policies that have been laid down, are you sure that is a good advice or that is a good investment that you are ready to take?
Here, I think Nana Yao has timed out.
Okay, so you were saying something, Boss Lumide. Go ahead.
Yeah, so we have some shining lights. We have to help promote them and use our own voices, but we also have to understand that it's a long-term battle. It's not something that's going to change now. That's it. So that the youths don't give up just like that.
I was
We have
asking,
to
I was asking Nana a question. I was like, is he
about
sure?
coming back and investing.
Yes.
I've given you examples, even as far as the richest black man in the world and what has happened to his investment. So it's a risk, but there's potential and there's opportunity. There's potential, there's opportunity, and if you are entering a sector where there's policy backing, you're good to go. Agric now has had a lot of support from the previous regime here in Nigeria, but you will still have to face systemic issues, the bad roads, power, insecurity, and all that. But the potential is there, and food, agric is something that no matter what, people have to eat. So
Right.
there are opportunities, and you can't discourage people from investing in their home nation. It's just that you have to do your SWOT analysis and your, what do you call it, very well.
So that you don't end
Your
up,
market research and everything. Yeah, because there are things that I've launched and you're like, wow, this is so great. This is such a great business and service. But those underlying problems eat them up later. So it's not just porting a wonderful idea that you have seen successful in Europe or in Asia and America and bring it to Africa. There are peculiarities that you have to take into consideration.
exactly.
That's our reality. So if you are coming with your money, you've done your serious feasibility studies and you've taken into consideration the human factor in some things that you wouldn't have to consider in other places. Even when you boost all the security, electricity, all things have been catered for, unfortunately, there's still some human things that are magnified. Human beings have, we all have our frailties and whatever, but there are some things that are magnified in our own societies.
Right.
Because of that same mentality of hustle, work chop. Now when man they work, now they in the chop. So you have employees that believe no matter what you are paying them, they believe they must still take from you.
Just to survive.
So you hear some people, you not even to survive. It's a mentality that now when man they work, now they in the chop. People come into the civil service in Nigeria saying they don't care about the salary because their focus is how they can make money from other means within the system. You have people, you have been in sales before. You have people that come into sales companies. Their focus is how money will be coming into their hands and they can be taken out of it. They are not counting on their salary. They are not counting on meeting up their targets, but they know that, the job I'm doing, I'm going to have cash in my hand every day. So those are those things. You hear some people say when they start business in Nigeria, they've already factored in, say, there are people who chop a certain amount. Yes. So those are the things you have to consider when you're coming back to invest huge amounts here. You know that, okay, whatever I'm doing, it's a sad reality that, okay, my manager, I have to leave a certain margin that, okay, within my profits, I expect that my manager will still take, no matter what I do, my manager can still take some money. Some people below will still be pilfering some things. And you would have to ignore them because you replace them, the same behavior with the people that you replace them with. So those are some peculiarities that you have to consider when you're doing business here. It's not to say that Nigerians or Africans are all thieves, but it's a sad reality of what happens. So anybody looking to bring back their money here should have considered all those things.
Right. Yes, exactly. So with all these things that we've said about youth having power or no power, there's one particular thing before we even end this particular episode that is very rampant, and I believe each and every one of us, both in Nigeria and in Ghana, that is what we call cyber fraud. Cyber fraud. yeah, in popular parlance, Yahoo Yahoo. Will you say it's because of all this economic hardship? It's because of the youth actually not being given that power they have that has made this particular, will I call it a trade, gain so much popularity amongst the youth? Because, like, if I take a look around me, even in my vicinity, every male youth that I know is engaging in this act.
Every
Every
we're in serious problem. Oh, asem, asem, oh.
Asem pa. Every Nana in Ghana, I know. At least I was in Ghana. I think that was last 2 years. I went to Ghana, and it's people that I went to school with, people that I graduated with. Like, when we were in school back at then, that is what they were doing. Like, they were still up and coming. They were still learning it. Now they don't
Now
become
they are
like that.
done.
They are baba. They are done.
But, sorry, on a joking but still serious, that is where you see mentorship again. You know, I said before, you see in the political sphere, you see mentorship for the people that want to follow the rotten politics.
Exactly.
Those that are idealistic, they don't have anybody to show them the way. The same way for the Yahoo now. Those people who are into it are always bringing up their boys.
Younger ones.
Yes, they are always bringing up boys. Bro, show me way now. Why is the language escaping me now?
Updates.
Waiting beyond they drop boss, which side you they bomb? They will gladly pull those guys in and train them, and so the cycle continues.
So, okay,
imagine directing this. Imagine directing this into something positive.
Nana, forget that. Nana, that is what we want to. That's the main thing I'm talking about. That's what we are supposed to follow. That's the line you're supposed to do. But
so what you need to understand that it will not happen overnight. From your poster, you appear to want everything now, but it's not a now thing. It will take some time. All right.
I'm not saying the now thing. This particular Yahoo that has gained so much ground, so much level, it was not a one-day thing as well. It started from somewhere.
Right.
It started from somewhere. And as Brosolini also said about this mentorship, people were teaching. Like I also said, when I was even way back in secondary school, we have guys that were doing it there that when people are going, we used to call it back then, when after preps, late nights, if you go say you want to go, you demo for nights, you they learn. Other people are there with laptops and they are bombing the so-called sites. As at that age, with so many, after 1 year, after 2 years, after they started growing and becoming very, very skilled in this particular thing they are doing. Now, what I'm saying is that, is it because of we saying that, we don't have any power, we are powerless, the so-called power that we have is not actually even yielding any positive thing, that our government is not even catering for our needs? So what we want to do is to indulge in all these social vices. That is my whole point here. Because you like me, Nana, wherever you are, Nana, you know very well. Ghana, Nigerians are even leaving Nigeria to come to Ghana, and they are because of the film. Maybe Ghana is a little bit relaxed because there was a little bit of
today now.
So they pause all these kind of things?
There is no alternative for the youth. There is no alternative.
Nana, come back with they talk.
Nana, there are alternatives, but
what are they?
But going back to what I said earlier, there are roots. These things are symptoms of a root problem. The society has been engineered in a particular direction. Before Yahoo that we know now, 419 was something from late 80s, early 90s. And if you know, some of these people made it into politics in Nigeria.
Yeah.
And if you know again, you hear of some being linked to the highest, when I say the highest level of military government, people that were dealing in drugs and doing 419 are allegedly linked to people at the very, 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 very top. So these things are what a new society was built on. After the hardship of the 80s in Nigeria of SAP, in Ghana of from when Rawlings came in.
Yeah.
There was hardship that we brought upon ourselves by nonsense policies advised by the World Bank and IMF and all that. And a new culture of make it through any means was introduced to everybody. Now we have options. In the maybe early 2000s, 90s, there wasn't that much of an option for youth. Oh, you work in a bank, you're a lawyer, but for people that come from low income houses and are not exceptionally intelligent in school, your options are very limited. But now with the internet and with the phones we have and all that, there are other things that people can be doing apart from fraud. But because the mentality is already skewed, that's what they gravitate towards.
The society.
The mentality is now what
is skewed. It is what is readily available. That's what is available right now.
No, you have what we're doing. We're having a podcast on. We're having a podcast on Telegram now. How many people know what we are doing is possible, including me myself? Until Richie approached me, I didn't know. So those are the things. There are opportunities that lie limitless ahead of us. The bombing and whatever they are doing is also not easy.
Exactly.
They still have to put in a lot of effort, still do Yahoo plus and whatever to get results. It is not easy. Like when you see the people that you hear, I see stories, $10 million, and then you're like, how the hell have these guys been able to pull this off? Do you know the connections you need to be able to move that kind of money internationally?
So will you agree that lack of direction?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Because and it's not like they are not. Yeah, it's not like they are not. Okay, let's be real. It goes back to what you and he said at the beginning. The people that have influence on social media, those that are visible, this is what they push. And like I said, it's not as if you don't have people in big companies doing things. It's not as if you don't have people below 30 in oil and gas. It's not as if you don't have people below 30 in the big four of accounting. It's not as if you don't have young people in the consultancy world and all that. It's not as if you don't have young people leading companies. You mentioned Flutterwave. What age were those guys when they started it? How old were the Paga guys when they started and all that? It's not as if we don't have those examples, but those people are still building. They are still working. They don't go about with ostentatious shows of wealth, mostly. But those who are in the fast money world are the ones that seen. Yes, they are the ones that are seen, and they are the ones that people want to follow. And again, mentorship. They are the ones that can easily train people. How many people can a finance bro at the level of CEO at the age of 30 or 35? How many people can he mentor at a time? How many people are intelligent enough, not only intelligent enough, dedicated enough, and have the social skills to grow in that sphere compared to somebody that is hiding behind a laptop and a chat template that he has to keep on trying? But because he knows, say one day I go pick $10,000. He keeps on going. Sleepless nights, doing things that they shouldn't do. Meanwhile, the person who is going to 9 to 5, his own plan is 15 years. I would have grown to this level. Then I'll be able to afford this kind of house. I'll be able to get a travel for my annual leave. So it's unfortunate that what we see most is the negative side. And like we've all agreed, it is not something that can be achieved in a short term. It's a long term. People's minds have to change. Let me read that quote I referenced before. It said the masses never revolt of their own accord, and they never revolt merely because they are oppressed. Indeed, so long as they are not permitted to have standards of comparison, they never even become aware that they are oppressed. So that is the situation of a majority of Africans. All we know is survival. We see Oyinbo in film. We we see it as so far away, it is unachievable. We don't aspire to it at all because we don't accept that we deserve to live half of the life that they are living. We just look at them and say, oh, their own day different. You will see some people that are defenders of bad governance in Nigeria and Africa at large. Now telling you, say, Nigeria is 1960. It's just 60 years old. America is 400 years. But you had, these people have gone through hundreds of years of development, and you have access to everything that they use to develop themselves. Exactly. But we will ignore the good things that will work and be making excuses based on the bad things that they have and be pretending that we are starting from scratch. Nigeria is started from zero. There was nothing like electricity when Nigeria started. Nobody had developed steam engine. There was no surgery, brain surgery available at that time. It's just Nigeria now. Why? Those are the things. People make excuses because they themselves don't believe that they deserve better. So the power we have is there. We just have to awaken it with awareness. For some data, we have Nigeria, 70% of the population is under 30 years old. Ghana, 57 are under 25. So there's a massive potential for youth-driven change.
Exactly.
We have the potential, but we have to reshape our minds. Sadly, out of those huge number of youth in Nigeria, for example, data shows that we have up to 53% unemployed. I saw 12% youth unemployment, but I know it's definitely higher than that.
Yeah.
So, which points to economic frustration that is fueling desire for change. Like Nana is saying, say there's nothing, but we actually have options. The world has opened up now. That's why I said, compared to the 90s, early 2000s, with the internet and the devices we have in our hands, we have opportunities to try different things. Richie that is talking now, he's doing a podcast, he's singing, he's doing so many different things. He's an MC, and you wonder, say, how is one man able to do all these things? So youth have the opportunity to take one of those things that one person like him is doing and try and make a living from it.
Right. Rightly said. Okay. This has been a really, really interactive and exciting and informative session. I will need to unfortunately call it a wraps because the podcast is getting really, really long. Maybe subsequently we might have a part 2 of this particular episode. Thank you very much, Olumide. Thank you very much, Nana.
Thank you for having me. I'm sorry again. I apologize again for keeping you waiting.
No problem. Thank you so much, guys. And to you listening to this particular episode, like as Boss Olumide has said, the power is there. You just need to create that awareness of that power. We just need to create that awareness, irrespective of the economic situation, irrespective of the various economies that you find yourself in. If you're in Ghana, if you're in Nigeria, in Uganda, Zambia, and the rest, anywhere you're listening to this podcast from, try as much as possible to cultivate the habit of learning, becoming better. Find something doing, not the negative things. Find something positive doing, and as you push, you discover that you will be making headway. Thank you so much for joining in on this episode. I'd like to see you again on the next episode. I always appreciate you. I always thank you guys because you guys are always turning up and listening to my content. On to the next episode. Stay safe. Peace out.
21 long time, we gather around where the beats are hot and the vibes we sound abroad of Africa to the world's embrace. We're building a community, a sacred space. Reaches top soul, where the youth convene, sharing stories, chasing dreams, living the scene on Spotify, Afropod's Google and Apple too.